I'm Robrad78.
And I'm Fidget 1185.
And welcome to our Couples Therapy.
Welcome back to Couples Therapy, where we talk about this, that, and the other thing.
And if you're new to the channel, welcome. So, probably seen this a couple times now. We've done a couple videos with our little tradition, ritual thing that we do. We drink scooters before each recording. Today, on this day, I went to Scooters and we had a pleasant experience there as well. Apparently, I look like somebody, which, you ever gotten that before where somebody says, hey, you look like this person?
No, not really. I mean,
not really.
Like maybe once.
I've gotten it a few times in my life, but now apparently I'm looking like people in California. So
you don't look like anybody in California that I've seen.
Yeah.
You're one of a kind.
So this lady that worked at the Scooters Coffee said that every time she sees me in the drive-thru, it reminds her of her best friend's from California husband, because I guess I look like him. So I was like, that's interesting because my fiance is from California. So kind of crazy world. Seems like there's a lot of like Iowa, California, like crossovers.
Probably because a lot of people are starting to come out here because it's cheaper compared to California.
Well, a lot of people were doing it long before too.
But I'm just saying, like, especially now with the way things are, I wouldn't be surprised if there's, like, you know, the states where it's cheaper to live, like, suddenly get, like, an influx of people. Like, that wouldn't be surprising.
It's easier to find jobs around here, I always hear.
I mean, I think I found the two jobs that I have had, or the one that I had, I think I found that relatively quick, and then when I left that job for my current job, I think I found it, pretty quick.
And how was it when you were in California?
Good Lord. Like, it would take, like, months where my mom would, like, get on me, like, have you called them back? Have you, blah, blah, blah. And that's, like, what I don't get about, like, people I've talked to, like, work associates, work friends, whatever you want to call them, like, how, like, their friend or, like, their significant other is, like, looking for a job, and, oh, well, they put in the application, like, 2 weeks ago, and we haven't heard anything. I'm like, well, have you called? I mean, and then I met with some, like, oh, well, some excuse, and I'm like, well, you're not gonna get hired if you don't put forth the effort. And I think that's also, like, a thing, like, when you put in an application, like, for my current job, put in the application, I generally wait, like, maybe 2 to 3 days, or, depending, like, if I put it in, like, the weekend, like, I wait until, like, a Monday or whatever, but I always give them a couple days, and then I call, like, I put in an application, I'm just checking on the status. And I feel like that also kind of shows them the initiative of, like, oh, well, this person is following up. Like, you know what I mean?
They're serious about getting this job.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. Never had to call. Never had to call for a job. I didn't even know that was a thing, honestly.
Well, consider yourself lucky, but it's just like, I understand, like, the supervisor or whatever, like, they get busy with stuff. They just don't sit around doing nothing.
I just figure if they don't call me back, then I'm not the one for the job.
But that's not the right way to... You're one of those people who would never call. And it's like, but
I didn't know.
You should.
Well, when they're like... Usually in an interview, they'll say, we'll call you. Like at the end. We'll call you when we have a decision or whenever we make up our mind or whatever.
Yeah.
They say that. So then I'm like, okay, well, you're going to call me. You be part of your word and you call me.
Well, right. I'm just saying about, like, when you put in an application and you don't hear from them for, like, a couple days. But yeah, in an interview, like, if, like, I
guess I've never had to, like, fill an application out. I've filled out applications when I was in high school, but again, never heard anything back, so didn't.
Right. Well, like in an interview, like one job that back in California that I applied for, it was like a group interview, and that was interesting. That was like the first group interview I'd ever done, and it's nice because then if they, they ask a question and then be like, oh, you like, what do you, blah blah blah, so then it like gives you a minute to think of your answer instead of being put right on the spot. But in those aspects, when they're like, oh yeah, we'll call you, yeah, I'm just like, if I don't hear anything, maybe someone a little more qualified than me, they're gonna go with. But then in that aspect, they should be like, stick to their word, like, oh, like, we're gonna go with someone else,
Yep.
Really not that hard, but I guess that's me expecting too much out of people. But
Apparently.
silly me, right?
Yeah, when I was in high school, I applied for a couple jobs that were like, I actually applied for Walmart at one point. Never heard anything back from them. And then I think I did like a couple like fast food restaurants. Never heard anything back, so I just got like farmhand jobs where make money that way, I guess. Was making feed for animals basically. So they called me back right away. Actually, no, that wasn't even true. When I went there, they said, how soon can you start? And I said, well, I could start today if you want me to. And then they had me working the same day I went in. So,
Yeah.
job.
But see, what I don't get is for places that say like, oh, we're hiring.
Yeah.
Or like they have the like
We're now
advertising.
hiring.
Right. And then it turns out that like they're not. Because like I've had it where,
Then take it down.
right? And then what was also mildly aggravating was when I applied, I can't even remember the name of the place, before I applied at Walmart, Tractor Supply.
Yeah.
And how, I had called, I filled out the application, I went in for an interview. And then, I thought it had went well,
Seemed like it did.
I answered, the questions as truthfully as I could. And then
She said, what's a tractor and how do you supply it?
no, it was basically, I think I was going to be like a cashier and like a stock person. But, and then like, what was it? I think it was like after I had filled out the application for Walmart and like I had gotten it, like an interview, like I set up my interview, then they called like, oh, would you, like we're interested in hiring you.
It's like too late.
Where was this like 2 weeks ago? And then like, but I had called and I felt like I was given the runaround. So I'm like, well, I'm not gonna just sit on my butt and wait. I'm gonna be proactive, and that's why I applied at Walmart.
I had a buddy who went in for a job interview somewhere and never heard back from him, never heard anything. And then he got a job, and he was at his job for like 3 to 6 months. And then he got a call back from him, like they wanted to hire him now. And he's like, no, I got a job now. It's like, what, did you expect me to just wait around on that job for half a year?
Right.
So I never understood that, where they don't consider the person.
Right.
And be like, hey, we want you, but it might be a couple months from now.
Then it's like,
Right.
put the sign out a couple months from now when you actually need the help.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I don't know. Like, that I don't get. I don't understand. But, I mean, for the most part, overall, I guess I'm pretty content with where I'm at.
So, all this conversation from basically looking like somebody, there's a lot of weird, like, ways that people can come up to you and approach you. I had one today also where somebody came up to me and they asked me if I been trying some new soap or something because I smell good.
So many questions, but the first one that immediately pops into my head is how close was this person standing next to you to be like,
Actually, a little farther from you and me right now. Probably,
like,
yeah.
but okay, still, that's still pretty dang close to be like, oh, are you trying a new, like, body wash?
Yeah.
Like,
But, like, good friend of mine. Good friend of me. What am I doing? And he means nothing but good intentions. But I was like a little turned back from it because I didn't expect someone to say that. And then I'm like sitting there thinking, did I put on different soap? But to be honest with you, because the weather's changing and it's getting hotter out, and I wore a sweatshirt most of the day, and then I took it off, I was sweating more than I. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, well, did I actually stink, or do I normally stink, or does my man musk smell really good? I had the other guy in the area, kind of laughing about it because I was like, I don't know what to say. It's like, thanks.
yeah, how do
I
you...
said, I guess it's better than someone coming up to you and saying you stank.
Well,
But,
that's true. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's still a little, like, awkward. Like, how do
Right.
you handle, like...
It took me aback. I will say that. Another thing I wanted to talk about was it's been a little over a year since you've been driving now on a regular basis. So, have you gotten accustomed to driving now? Do you really even like process every little thing that you're doing anymore, or does it just become like a single engine and you just like it just happens and you don't even think about it anymore?
I feel like a lot of things are I don't really think about anymore. But the thing that still gets me, and I think this is just the way my brain is wired and the way my brain works, is like when I'm in reverse, like pulling out of the garage, let's say, and I need to go left, but you turn the wheel right. So it's like whatever direction you want to go,
Yeah.
you turn the wheel the opposite direction because you're in reverse. I don't know why. It's an easy concept. It really is. But my brain, so sometimes, I think for the most part, like leaving the garage, like I'm pretty good. But there are times like if I'm meeting friends for like coffee out in Oski, and then like I'm parked and then I go to leave, like I'll turn the wheel like one way, be like, oh wait, crap, I don't need to go this way. So I turn it the other way, whereas for you, regardless, it just, this is natural.
A lot of years into it though.
Right. But I mean, like almost 2 years driving. I mean, yeah, there's a story behind all of that too. But
Woo woo.
I think for a lot, like driving to work, it's pretty much more like a second nature. Like I told you the other day, like I was driving home from work, talking to my mom like I normally do, and it takes about, we'll say like 22 minutes to leave to get to, the turn off the highway.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my mom and I'm like, how did I get here? Like, it's almost like on autopilot, and that's kind of scary in a way. But
yeah,
I don't really get that anxiety anymore unless I'm going somewhere I've never been before.
right.
But
yeah, I've been getting a lot of questions about couples therapy or shirts and whatnot, and they're like little billboards. Everybody asks me what it's all about. You ever get any questions about it? I mean, you have your vest on, don't you? So
yeah, so
it blocks the back of it pretty much.
And then the part kind of covers like the
vest, yeah.
The vest kind of sits this way, so.
But like, even at that coffee situation, they were interested in it too. So it's like everybody's kind of been like asking me about it and interested in it. So I hope some of you guys come this way, and if this is the first episode, let us know down below. But yeah, we've just been having a blast doing this, and we love sitting here telling you our weekly journal. I know when I first started driving, it was one of those things where like I was so nervous all the time because like I grew up on a gravel road, so I had to start driving on rocks, loose rocks and stuff too.
Oh, that's not
And
fun.
in the winter when they don't plow the snow at all on the gravel roads.
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
But so for those of you that are new and this is your first episode that you are checking out, little backstory of why I've only been driving for about almost 2 years. So, yeah, originally I'm from California. I guess you could say in that aspect I was kind of spoiled in the sense of either my mom or my dad would drive me to work. And then if like they couldn't do it, like I'd have a friend or like her husband would come pick me up, take me to work. Or if that didn't work, like I would call like a Lyft or an Uber. So there was always that. And it wasn't for lack of trying. Like I tried, but every time like I would get behind the wheel, like my anxiety would get really bad. And I would try. Like I had my permit like 3 different times.
Wow.
And it was just, and it's just like the hustle and bustle in California versus at least where we live out here in Iowa. It's kind of nice because it's middle of nowhere kind of feeling.
That's pretty much all Iowa.
Well, unless you go to a big city, but then that's different.
There's like a few big cities in Iowa though.
But still. But out here,
and none of our cities match to California.
But when got my permit out here, I did not want to drive. Like it was because I was scared. Like I'll be honest, like I was scared.
Yeah.
And I did it. It would be like little trips. It would be to the next town over, which is about 10 to like 15 minutes away, give or take.
8 usually.
Well, new driver, so it would take a little longer. To Sigourney?
Yeah, no.
Anyway, so we'll just say like 10.
Sure.
Kind of getting used to that, and that's why my first job was out there, just to help me get acclimated to driving. And so that's basically why I've only been driving for about like 2 years, was because I was spoiled and had always had like a form of getting to where I needed to go, regardless of like who it was from. So
yeah, when I grew up, me and my friends would always jump in a car and somebody would drive. I typically would always have a vehicle, but I would always like if somebody else wanted to drive, I'd be like, "You want to drive my car? I don't care," because I don't like driving.
yeah, you still don't.
Nope. But I'm a stay-at-home kind of guy anymore. I like my little nest I got here. I've perfected it. I got exactly what I want, where I want it. And if somebody moves that thing, then I'm going to put it back. No. But yeah, it just, I don't need a whole lot anymore. But yeah, this has been fun for the last couple of years, learning how to drive.
And in case you're wondering, that beast behind us, that's
That limousine.
That's the potato mobile, as I call it.
That is what we call a 400,000 Lamborghini.
You're funny. I'll stick to my little potato mobile.
Yeah. No, but yeah, we've had many of tries, and then of course you have my crazy driving in Indianapolis, which we've talked about on here before.
Right.
But yeah, I got kind of comfortable with driving after I lived in Kansas City for a while. having to drive in a big city like that. Even though that city's not that bad to drive in compared to some. But
So what do you say? It's driving in Kansas City is kind of like out here, or not as relaxed, or like
no, it's more busier than here.
but it's not like super busy.
Right.
Like, okay.
It's got a nice flow to it. It's about like a little bit like Des Moines. But I feel like the drivers were less hectic there. And gas was cheaper in Missouri. Their tax bracket's lower. But what sucks is when you have the property taxes every year. Like they do the taxes every year. So like here when you buy a car in Iowa, you pay the taxes on it. That's the tax that you pay for it. But in Missouri, every year you have to pay a tax bracket for it. And you have to get your car inspected every like 5 years to make sure that it's still in perfect condition to be fit as a vehicle on the road.
Well, and that wouldn't that also be a good thing to make sure that like if any parts in the car are like recalled or something to get it like taken care of? Or
Well,
whatever.
usually wherever you get it here, there's the dealership
does
that for you. It's like, hey, they'll send you a letter in the mail and say, hey, there's been a recall. Bring it in, free of charge.
Yeah, it's like it better be free of charge. Like
I didn't accept that.
right.
But yeah. But yeah, it's been kind of hectic. Well,
real quick on the driving thing. Now I realize what I've been kind of missing out on because my mom's like, well, don't you want the freedom, blah, blah, blah. And I just kind of like, whatever, Mom. But now that I drive, it's like...
I'll walk it off, Mom.
It's like, Jesus, holy crow. Like, I see what what she's saying, you know? Like, I finally realized. But...
Yeah.
I said, it wasn't for lack of trying.
I will say that was one reason why I loved it. It was like, if I feel like I need to go somewhere, I'm just going to go somewhere.
Right.
What else was I going to say? I forgot.
Sorry.
But, can't remember. I was about to say it and then I lost it. Shoot. Anyways, we have a lot of videos coming out because Twitch is doing a thing where they're not letting you keep too many VODs on there anymore. So I'm going to have a lot of old videos coming out on here. So going to be a lot of taking it back here. I do have a couple videos with you in it from the past. So we got some where like it's when you first moved out here, when you got your Twitch anniversary or your affiliate. We have
that was fun, but I don't want to do that ever again.
We have a lot of cool stuff. We had a late show where it was you were in it, and Dougie was in it, and I think Dollar Bill was in it. 3 of us or 4 of us. We were just hanging out. So that one will be interesting.
I don't remember. When you post that, I'll have to find it.
But I just posted one today of this recording that it's the one and only time that I had my dad on stream. And I don't think I'll ever get him back on, but hey, I did it. I did the impossible.
You have proof.
Right?
So he can't deny it.
Oh, he wouldn't, but I remember the first time my dad found out about my streaming and stuff. It wasn't, he didn't bring it up subtly. He was like, so they were showing me your streams. Like we were out there on his, I don't know if he was feeding the chickens or what, but we were out in the backyard or whatnot while he was doing chores and I was following him around basically. He's like, so they showed me your streams and I just have one question. I was like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, what's up with the chicken suit? So I guess he'd seen like me wearing the chicken suit. And like those people that know my dad is like, he's like a work is his priority basically. And like, you know, he's like straightforward kind of guy. Definitely not a guy that puts on a chicken suit.
No.
But so I had to explain that to him. I'm like, got people to come in. It's how I got a following in the first place. To begin with, it made people go, oh, what's going on this channel? But I remember when I was a little kid, I started YouTube in high school. And I would do crazy things on YouTube. And my dad came up to me one time and he's like, you need to stop making these videos. He's like, because the guys at work are finding them and then they're showing me these videos and this and that. And, you know, he's like, basically saying they're laughing and this and that and showing me, oh, this is your son, la 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 la. And I'm just like, the whole time he's telling me that, the only thing I got from it is they found me. like
Right, but wasn't that kind of like the whole point of
for
the
me
videos?
it is.
Well, no, I'm just saying,
my dad
like,
doesn't understand that style.
right,
you know?
but it was like they were laughing, but like, yeah, that's
even if
what
they're
I want.
laughing at me, that's what I want. You know, like
Right.
I'm going for humor.
Right.
But
I'm just glad when I like got into Twitch.
yeah,
Like my mom like was kind of like, oh, like what is this? And it's like, this is like before I like got into the streaming aspect of it. It's like pretty much all I'm doing is watching people play a game. I can talk like in their chat, they can, and then they see it and they talk back. And then she may have understood it and got it after that, but, and you know, it's kind of like, well, okay. And it's like, yeah, because it's cool, because then in a way, like I get to interact or talk to people all over the world.
yeah.
Like there's this one streamer now that I follow, like when he streams, his streams start at 5 a.m. for us, but I think he lives in Germany, so he's like 7 hours ahead, I want to say. And well, normally his streams would start at 4 a.m., but I forgot because of the hour difference thing, or like going back an hour, or
Going
forward an hour, yeah.
Daylight saving.
But I like his streams and everything, so
Yeah.
But, and then when I started streaming myself, you know, like my first ever one, you know, like I told my mom, I was like, hey, I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to have my door closed. Probably going to be doing this for about an hour and a half or so. Please, like, if it's
Leave
not
me alone.
pretty much, it was like basically, you know, like, don't interrupt me until I'm done sort of thing. But I said it more nicely than that. And she's like, okay.
See, and my living situation is like the way my mom is like she was not gonna interrupt. Like she'd find any way to interrupt when I first started. Any
little minute.
Oh, we got food out here if you want it. It's like, if I want food, I'd be out here.
Right.
Like,
I kind of remember those like before.
Yeah. So like she was always like interrupting. Hey, can you do that?
And it's like, what part of like I am busy do you not comprehend?
Yeah. And like with my mom, she's like the opposite of my dad, where like my dad didn't understand it. My mom was a little too into it. Like when she found out that I was making money off of it, she's like, wait, what?
Right.
And then like she'll be like, I don't know how it becomes up in a conversation, but somehow she's bringing it up at her work, and she's telling him, yeah, he'll be on tonight, or he'll be on Wednesday night. And it's like, I never talked to her about what my schedule is. I don't know why she tells people that, hey, he's on every Wednesday night. I used to be, yes.
Right.
And she's like, yeah, I told a lot of people at work about you because they were all excited, you know, because she works with a younger crowd. And they're all excited. And I told them, yeah, he streams every Wednesday night. And I'm like, Mom, I don't stream every Wednesday night. Oh, well, when do you stream? Pretty much whenever I want anymore.
Right. I feel like anymore, like if you're gonna stream, it's more so on the weekend. Like
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
don't
like trying to say your schedule, but I feel like if you're gonna do it, it's gonna be
Saturday or Sunday
or both.
or on Friday night.
Right.
Well, I just don't have the time now. With you being here now, it literally like put a stop to my schedule because there was no way to like do that. Because like there's one thing when I stream, I want to make sure I'm in a good mood. I want to make sure I'm in the right mood. But now when I stream, I got to make sure not only am I in the right mood, but is my significant other in the right mood? Can I, like there's a whole thing.
Everything kind of intertwines.
Yeah.
Now that,
So a
like,
lot of
I'm-
times I just stream when she's not here because then it's like, then I only have to worry about me. So it's like I can put on that face, put on my paint.
But yeah, and I don't know if my dad ever really like understood what this was, or like not this, but like the streaming stuff.
I do remember you telling him about the podcast though. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But trying to get him to watch it, yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Like,
So did your family watch this thing? Because I know your mom kind of
I don't.
she helped us with this right here.
Right. I don't know. It was something you posted on Facebook where it had the link. Well, my dad doesn't do Facebook.
Well, I do Instagram, and then
maybe
Instagram automatically puts it on.
Well, right. But I think, aren't you and my mom following each other on Instagram?
I have no idea.
Anyways, but as you said, though, you posted it on Instagram.
I try to do my circuit, try to get people to watch from all
Anywhere
social
that wherever they might be, because
Because
might not have one.
she
but
probably got it from Facebook because on Instagram they'll post the link, but it doesn't make it blue and clickable. But then whenever I post something on Instagram, it automatically posts to Facebook too.
right.
And on Facebook, it does a blue clickable link.
The hyperlink.
Yeah, for some reason Instagram doesn't like that.
Right, which is anyways. But and then she was saying like, oh well, you guys need to try and put the phone up higher, blah 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 blah, whatever.
Which this is our first time doing that.
And she told me this the other day, and on my way home from work, so Sunday it would have had to have been. And I was like, well, thank you, Mom. Like, this is the kind of feedback that we're looking for. Like, like positive criticism.
Do you know she watched the whole thing, or did she?
She didn't say. She just like sent me like an emoji with like the thumbs up emoji.
So how did she bring it up to you? Like in general, she's like,
I might have been talking about it, and she's like, or we might have been talking about like I don't know. But then she's like, oh yeah, like he posted like a link, and then I clicked on it, and then I guess she watched some of it. I mean, like, she would have had to have watched some of it.
yeah, she must have saw too much of my nose hair or something.
I know, it all kind of blends in with the mustache.
She's like, maybe this is my nose hair.
Oh, ooh. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, if you guys honestly, like, have any, like, positive criticism, feedback, or whatever, please, like, don't hesitate to, drop it down in the comments, because we're always looking for, ways to...
And this was a cheap fix, so, like, if you got, like, really expensive fixes, obviously, it's in due time.
Right, but I mean...
Like, obviously, we want to get a computer, a better camera.
Right, but I mean, it was, with their, whatever feedback people, we can always just write it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys have it, like I was saying, anything, don't hesitate. Don't be afraid to leave comments below. Let us know, like little tiny improvements along the way help us out tremendously, to make better content for you guys, like we do this for you.
Another way to help make better content, and this is a great transition right here, is to buy merch from the merch store. We got the Couples Therapy shirt. We got the Get to Work shirt. We got Fidget 1185 stuff. We got Robrad 78 stuff. And then we just got all around stuff. We got random stuff like Let's All Go to the Movies. We got little can coolers that say, these pretzels are making me thirsty. So, and we got other stuff that we plan on making in the future. We got her wrestling brand in there. We got my wrestling brand in there.
But again, if there's something that you guys want to see, again, drop it down below. Again,
Yep.
like, feedback.
Yeah.
We're all for it.
And if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe because we're on that roller coaster ride to get to 300 subscribers.
Woo,
And once we get there, we're gonna have a watch party in the Discord. We're gonna watch 300, and we're gonna watch 300, the second one,
number 2.
Rise of the Empire.
I was about to say 302.
Yeah, no,
I know, but it's
I think it's 300 Rise of the Empire or something like that.
I had no idea that they had even made a second one.
Yeah,
Because I thought once they were all dead in the first one, well, that's it.
yeah, it's a continuation to what happens after that.
I thought, well, that's fair. Anyways.
In the second one, immediately you see beep. I ain't gonna say it because I don't want to ruin it for people. But yeah, they're both good. They're both good.
You've seen it?
I saw the second one in theaters with my dad, and then my dad had the first one on DVD, so we used to watch it all the time. My dad used to get told that he looked like Gerard Butler.
I could kind of see it a little bit.
Yeah.
Now that you...
He, but also, one time on a plane when he was going to California to see my brother when he was stationed there, he got mistaken as Zach Galifianakis, which that one I do not see. He doesn't look at all like him. I can't see that one either. But he told me that. He's like, yeah, someone thought I was Zach Galifianakis.
Should have gone with it.
Which he knew who he was because we watched The Hangover. We saw the first Hangover, and then me and him saw Hangover 2 and 3 in theaters together. So he knew who he was. We've seen other movies with him in it, like Due Date. You ever seen Due Date?
Maybe.
Him and Robert Downey Jr.
I don't know.
That's a good one. That's a good one that went
That was
appreciated.
underrated.
Yeah, we'll have to watch it someday. But yeah, if you guys want to watch another movie sometime too, you get in the Discord. We got movie suggestions in there. We're all down for watching some movies in the Discord. And we like to hang out there and play games.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to go any farther. I think we got a good episode here, don't you?
I think so.
One way to end it
Yeah.
is that much love. See, I have trouble with my heart. Much love. Aim up the nose. Peace.